So in case you missed this earlier, I'm Cheryl.
I'm Jessica.
We'll just kind of go through the beginning again real quick. So thank you for being part of this with us today and being patient through our technical difficulties. In case you missed this before, today we're going to spend some time introducing ourselves and how we met, why we decided to go through this Radical Remission Coach Training. But more importantly, we're going to discuss what radical remission means, why this work is so important, and how this information can benefit you and your loved one.
And
go ahead.
Yes. And as you can see, thank you again for bearing with us through all the technological difficulties. We really, really appreciate your patience.
So just as a disclaimer, even though I'm an RN, Jessica's an MD, everything that we discuss is for educational purposes only. This is not medical advice. And before we really jump into everything, Jessica's going to lead us through an opening invocation and set our intention for today.
It's such a beautiful way to start, right? Sometimes unexpected things happen, a little technology frazzling. And so basically, my home and journey of self-healing began with yoga. I did a yoga teacher training after physician training that saved and changed my life in so many ways. And Cheryl's on her way to becoming a yoga teacher as well. And so yoga is a Sanskrit word that means union. And so union of the individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. And so keeping that in mind, setting the intention for our journey together. In yogic tradition, it's customary to give gratitude and to begin with a universal peace chant or invocation. And so I invite you to share in setting this intention with us for this journey together. So just settling into your chair and settling in with yourself. Just observing the breath. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Allowing the breath to bring gratitude for this present moment, for being here together. So this is an English translation of a Sanskrit chant. From untruth lead us to truth. From darkness lead us to light. From knowledge of death lead us to knowledge of immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you for sharing that with us. And so let's get started. I know that many of you watching already know us, but for those who don't, we start with introductions. And so, Eve's Jessica, I practiced emergency medicine. I had the opportunity to complete the first physician wellness fellowship a couple years ago at Stanford University through their Department of Emergency Medicine, and through many experiences of caring for patients in matters of life and death, interacting with my colleagues, and my own journey of healing from burnout and working towards well-being. After fellowship, I transitioned careers to find Sukhayu Wellness, and it's just been a beautiful journey. So Sukh means peace and joy, and Ayu means life in the Sanskrit language, and basically it's a wellness practice formed with the mission to enhance well-being. And so basically I work with hospitals as a consultant to do healthcare provider burnout assessments, also looking at burnout in the context of patient quality and safety and provider turnover. And I also, may love, perform and provide holistic wellness services such as coaching, yoga, interactive guided imagery, and mind-body skills groups. And I am a lifelong student, will always admit, in yoga and Ayurveda. And so that's my journey professionally.
So I am Cheryl Hosey. I'm an oncology and holistic board certified registered nurse. And it was my late husband Ryan's reoccurrence of brain cancer that led me to become a nurse. I was feeling very helpless and a loss of control, and felt that nursing would increase my knowledge and help me care for him. Through my 7 years, first as a bedside nurse and then as an outpatient nurse, I worked with so many amazing doctors and amazing nurses. But what I noticed for me, after a lot of self-exploration and healing and my own wellness journey, was that I was no longer aligning with the values of the healthcare system and the lack of the holistic approach for patient care. So I decided to leave the hospital setting and founded Brooks Wellness so that I could use my experience as a caregiver, widow, nurse, and what I've learned on my own wellness journey, as well as the knowledge I obtained from my education and trainings to empower oncology patients and survivors, their caregivers and family members, nurses, and other healthcare providers on their own journey to wellness and healing. So I do this through Brooks Wellness by providing one-on-one and group coaching, as well as a multitude of different group programs.
Cheryl, it's so beautiful. It's amazing the alignment that we end up finding just with that holistic approach. One of the things I love emergency medicine because you get to do everything and it teaches you to do things that I never thought I was capable of. And because really you have to put someone else's life first because their life depends on you. But I also just learning yoga and Ayurveda and getting to the root cause. That's the one thing that I kept find myself searching. How do you get to the root cause of not only just managing disease, but preventing disease? And why does it only have to be disease? Why not enhance health? So that's one of the reasons also why this work also aligns with me, and it aligns with both of us. So I'm so excited to be here with you because I remember, Cheryl, when I first met you and you shared your journey with me of what you had gone through. I still remember that conversation and it warmed my heart so much. You know, it's amazing. Sometimes people ask me all the time, like, you transitioned into what? What are you doing now? How do you find like mentorship for that or guidance for that? And it's just amazing because one of the most humbling things has been when you do pursue a journey that truly comes from within. Yeah, sometimes there's no way to know, but you meet like-minded souls upon the way. And for that, I am so grateful to meet you and everyone else that I've met along this journey.
And same to you. So Jessica and I met at the Wisdom of the Whole Academy during our coaching training. And so, you know, like Jessica had mentioned, we got to experience that together and went on that first part of our journey together. And then it continued after Jessica introduced me to the Center for Mind Body Medicine. So we were both pursued their training to facilitate mind body medicine groups and teach evidence-based methods of self-care.
Which is amazing because while all of this was going on, we both found ourselves transitioning into new careers, also as solo female entrepreneurs, going on this journey together, but in parallel. And it's been so, I don't really have many words, Cheryl, even just to describe my gratitude to you for our friendship and just, you know, along the way, having the support. And it's been so beautiful to have this and to be on this journey together and to grow together.
I agree. I'm extremely grateful for you as well. It has been a beautiful journey and will continue to be as we continue now through this Radical Remission program. So Jessica, tell our friends here, what is Radical Remission?
So I'm just going to go straight from Dr. Turner's book, but this is Kelly Turner's New York Times bestselling book, Radical Remission. And so we came here to do this Radical Remission Coach Training, right? So it makes sense in this first video just to say what a Radical Remission is. So I'm just going to read her definition of Radical Remission. This is on page 6. But basically, she says, a radical remission occurs whenever a person's cancer goes away without using any conventional medicine. Or a cancer patient tries conventional medicine, but the cancer does not go into remission. So he or she switches to alternative methods of healing, which do lead to remission. Or a cancer patient uses conventional medicine and alternative healing methods at the same time in order to outlive a statistically dire prognosis, which is any cancer with a less than 25% chance of 5-year survival. And to be honest, before reading this book, I know I'd mentioned this before, I had heard of 1 or 2 people doing this, especially in yoga classes. I mean, in yoga, you just hear stories of people who are given maybe 2 or 3 weeks to live by their doctor, and then they're there for years later. But I didn't know how to explain it scientifically. I knew it from inside in a way that took no verbal form. But it's just amazing what she's been able to do and what I know Dr. Bernie Siegel is another one. There's so many people who have done this research who have been able to capture what it is that you can't really capture in a randomized control study to heal. And it's amazing because it's one thing to do it for myself, follow the intuition, but to really spread this and share this with others, the science, the evidence-based proof is very necessary.
Definitely. And I too have experienced, through my years of being a nurse, oncology patients. I had one specific patient pops into my head that was what they call graduated from hospice. So she was told there was nothing else left to do for her and that she had a certain amount of time. She went to hospice and eventually they had to send her home. And it was over 7 years later that she, that when I left, that she was still around. And unfortunately, there wasn't, that I am aware of, a lot of exploration into how is she still here with us? Like what had happened? I didn't hear of any of that, which I found very interesting. So I believe this work is so, so important, not just because of the remissions, right? Which are miracles, like unbelievable. So happy that these can happen. But what I believe is the most important part is that this work empowers individuals to enhance their wellness. It empowers them to take ownership in their own well-being, and it empowers them to create a healing environment within their body, mind, and spirit. So it's not just for the cancer patient, it is for everybody. And, after reading these books, I felt like it necessary for me to take this class so that I can share this information with others, as well as continue to learn it myself. But my goal in my career as a human is to empower other people. And what better way to do that than to create a healing environment in their mind, body, and spirit?
I love that, the word empowerment, and her titles too, right? The radical hope. At no matter what stage, even on death's door, there's always kindness, there's always love, there's always spirituality, there's always some way to soothe the soul, and no matter what's happening with the physical body. And that's one thing that I'm so glad, to give a voice to help advocate for, because no matter what the situation is, yeah, most of the time, many diseases are incurable. Millions of people are dying every day. And what can we do? But always having that positivity, that faith, that spirituality, that hope, even just in kindness is so powerful. And that's a message that I'm so happy to be here with you to share. And you had mentioned this too, as a coach. So we thought it'd be really great to do this live series together to share this work, because, we've gone through a bunch of trainings at this time, but people are like, what are you doing still? So it's really nice to share this journey. It's also really important as a coach, A, to be coached, and B, to continue to have professional development throughout, because there are always nuances, and practice makes perfect. Not that a human art can be perfected, right? So that's why I'm really happy to share this journey with you. And that's what we're going to do together for the rest of this program. Rest of our Go Live series, anyway.
Yeah, so over the next 3 months, we will continue to broadcast these live videos. And we promise to work on our technical skills. So it's not always, doesn't always start like it did today. But our course officially starts on September 24th. So that gives us a couple more weeks to talk about the foundations of radical remission. So next week, we're going to be diving into Dr. Kelly Turner's books, Radical Remission and Radical Hope, which are both New York Times bestsellers, by the way. We'll talk about the impact that it's had on us, our takeaways, how the information is for everyone, like I discussed before, for health, healing, empowerment, how to learn to tune into your inner wisdom.
I'm getting goosebumps. This is wonderful. Yeah, and we'd also love to know, just going live, we want to connect with you, which is why we want to connect with everyone, form that community. think everyone, or at least I know I did, took for granted before COVID, right? So really cultivating that community, making this interactive. So we'd love to know from you if there's anything you have questions on or anything that you'd like to hear, especially if you're another coach or healthcare provider going through this stuff and wanting to, or anyone really. So if you feel free to send us messages either on social media or on our websites by email, however you want to get in touch with us, and we'll do our best to respond to things. But we would love your feedback.
Definitely. So tune in next Friday at 2 p.m. Definitely on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn Live. We will work on Instagram. And if you miss us live, or if you didn't want to stick around during our technical difficulties, there will be a recorded video posted on Tuesdays. Please feel free to share with your friends, family, anybody you think who could benefit from this journey. And please feel free to follow us on any of our social medias or sign up for our newsletter on our websites, which will be listed on our social media, so that you can stay up to date with our journey and the upcoming programs and offerings that both Sukhayu Wellness and Brooks Wellness will be offering. So thank you so much for your patience and for tuning in today. We appreciate you. We are so grateful. Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Reach out in between if you have any questions.
Yay, this was our live debut.
Woo, we did it. It was rough, but we did it.
Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you guys enjoy the weekend.
Yes. Take care. Thank you.